All right, guys, welcome to week 4, our final training week of our Party with a Purpose training month. I don't know about you guys. This has been so good for Ashley and I to put this and Katie to put this together for you guys. Not only is it really recentering like our thoughts and we can get on autopilot a lot too with our business. And it's just been really good to dive in and remember, where we came from, what we're doing, how we can have a hybrid of everything and how we can make it work and truly individualize all of our businesses the way that we want it to be in connection to what goals that we have. So it's been super good. Next week is going to be our final week. It's going to be kind of a more of a here's where we're going call. So even though we're done with the formal training, I really just encourage you guys to be on next week. Invite your teams. We're hoping to have, a lot of people on that call so we can talk more about like how well the series has gone and where we want to go with it from here on out. So that's next week. So tonight we're talking about Messenger and Zoom parties. Now, we have talked about these, off and on here for the last couple of years. These are party styles. Admittedly, this is why we have so many videos for you guys. These aren't styles that the three of us really do a lot of currently. I think when the pandemic first started, Ashley's going to talk a little bit about Zoom parties, how that was, and I did those two as like a good transition party style from, at home to figuring out online. But the reason that we asked, several different people to help with this type of training, because it wasn't really we're not the experts when it comes to this training. So I really encourage you to watch all 4 videos that we have, because each person offers a little bit of a difference in how they do that style, but also just bring a lot of wealth, especially with the messenger parties. And all of them, actually, they really gave a ton of info and a lot of resources for you to kind of dive into. So we wanted to focus on these, and the reason that we did these in 1 week is because they really are a shortened party style. They're super easy. Zoom parties are going to be the ones that you're going to pretty much take your in-home experience and put it into a 30 to 45 minute Zoom. Messenger being, you can do this several different ways, but most people do them as a 30-minute one night party with several messages in one time. So they really truly are time savers. So if you've been on our calls and you heard us talk about Facebook, you heard us talk about in-home, but you still are thinking about your schedule and wondering, gosh, is this something, can I really do this? My time is so thin. Like maybe maybe you work a full-time job and you work weird hours, and maybe your partner also is a shift worker, right? And you aren't at home in the evenings very often. And when you are, you don't want to be leaving to go and doing in-home parties, but you like the simplicity of an in-home. You really probably want to pay attention to these party styles, because these might be the ones for you, because they really give you that ease of a in-home party style in an even shorter version with some pretty standard and simple copy and pasting that you can do, especially with messenger parties. So if that's what you're thinking, if you have been hearing our trainings and your initial response is overwhelm and wondering how they're going to fit into your life, we really want you to really zone in on these and say, could these be something that I can try? Can I fit in a 30-minute messenger party one night a week, or a 45-minute Zoom party twice a month, right? That might be a more realistic time frame for party for you if that's what you're thinking. So we just, as we're approaching and talking about these parties, really think about how they can fit into your schedule. Also, think of them as a way to sneak in an extra party. Like maybe you want to add maybe it's the end of the month, right? And you're like, gosh, I really had a certain goal. I wanted to hit 1,500 in sales, and right now I'm at 1,100, but there's only 3 days left in the month. That's not enough time to gather together and do an in-home party. It's stretching it for a Facebook party, right? But you know what? It's perfect for a Zoom or a messenger party. You could host one yourself literally you could literally do it the same night. If you were like, oh my gosh, I want to do a party tonight, you could do it in Messenger. So it's one of those ones you can sneak in, especially if you have a goal to hit and you want to do that. So make sure that you are really looking at these as a viable party style to add to your calendar that you already have, or start a calendar that you don't have yet with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited, and I just want to echo her. Make sure you guys watch all 4 videos. There's a lot of like masters that, you know, I think specifically of our 2 messengers, like they're going at it with their messenger parties. We've got Min who had a shorter video, but it was straight into the point of the questions that we gave her. And then Kiwi as well. So definitely make sure you guys go and watch those videos. So I want to talk specifically on the topic of Zoom. So when everything happened in March 2020, for me, you know, single mom, had 16 parties on the calendar. I was like, okay, so I have 2 options. Figure out plan B or go apply at grocery store stocking jobs. I did both. Never got a call back on the grocery store part. It's just like, okay, well, I guess I got to figure out, like, what am I going to do? And so it was like, okay, let's just take everything of the in-home party that I knew and loved and build a business on, a career on, and plop it onto online. And so enter the world of Zoom. I love in-home parties. And if last week, either you have done in-home parties previously or you never have, but last week's talk really inspired you. And if you haven't watched last week's, definitely do. But if you're like, you know what, this is a really cool concept, but I can't commit to X amount of nights out of the house, Zoom is going to be your option for that. It just is so good to see faces. All of you guys, that's why we're so, you know, we've got Jennifer, she's multitasking with kiddos running around and it's great. And I just love seeing faces. It's just their reactions to things. You can still see those light bulbs going off in Zoom. And it just is such a beautiful dynamic to be able to see all those faces, engage in conversation, so on and so forth. So a couple key things that I did with Zoom parties that was really helpful. I did create a Facebook event to kind of like draw people to it. And so I could do a couple very simple posts leading up to the party. But then the other key thing that was huge for me, which I didn't even do with online parties, or excuse me, in-home parties, was I would post an image 2 days before in the Facebook group, or actually I think I had the host also send this to her people, text catalog to this number, my number, and she will send you a catalog leading up to the party so that they have a catalog. Because again, this is online, they don't have any catalogs. And so they would get I would send them a catalog, but then I also had the phone numbers. So regardless if they actually showed up or not, like I had access to them. Okay. So that was crucial for me to be able to, like, they would RSVP to that number or at least get a catalog from me, but then I had access to them later. So then we had our Zoom. And I covered Safe Haven 5, the mop, body cloth. I would take every single time. I would take my phone into the bathroom because I was downstairs. I would take it into the bathroom and I would mop the floor right there. And it was just so nice to be able to literally do it in the comfort of my own home, which is what I do now with online parties, only via Zoom. And it just was so great to be able to, again, see the interactions, bookings. I would obviously the same way with it, I do an in-home party, do all the booking seeds that I would do, give special incentives to those that would book live during that party. I also screen shared to be able to show all the specials, the spend and gets and whatever else. So it honestly was a good merge of an in-home party with the beauty of digital. So another thing that I did do, while I think that the mechanical cleaning video is great, it's a little bit harder to do it on a Zoom. And so I would have on my share screen pulled up ready to go. I would show the mechanical cleaning video on YouTube from Norwex. Like, you can't get better than Amy Cadora sharing, like, this is what I do an in-home party, or excuse me, with an online party. But I was able to show them the mechanical cleaning or the chicken demo or both. And so it was really nice to be able to incorporate. So if you have an area that maybe you're not comfortable talking at depth, how you can replace the EnviroCloth with the antibacterial wipes, show a video, just file it right into your party. They're not going to know that you're not 100% confident on it. But it just kind of worked out well. So Zoom is a really great option without the pressures on you or your hosts with an in-home party. So highly recommend them. We did multi-host with our team. So the first, I'm pretty sure is like once a week in April, the team would log in and we would do multi-host that way. So it's totally possible. I don't know if I would 100% recommend it, but you can add multiple hosts in together, or just, you know, they don't want to do an in-home party, file into Zoom. So
Yeah. It really, you guys, these party styles are such easy buttons. They really are. Our first video clip comes from Kiwi McGuire, and you guys, you have to watch her whole video. It's like 16 minutes. So we're not going to show the whole thing, but what I love, so she talks, just like Ashley did, she talks about how she structures her party, some of the things she says, and how she builds excitement through the computer, which if you're keeping notes on all of these party styles, one huge running theme is hostess coaching, getting your hostesses buy-in. And that's key for this too, because you can throw the best party in the world, you can be the best consultant, and if no one's there, then it's missed. Nobody cares, right? So Kiwi talks a little bit about how she, in her longer video, talks about her hostess coaching too. This clip that I want to play talks about how she structures her party and builds excitement through camera.
Course, right? I've got to give them options for people. If you're unfamiliar with them options, it is you can purchase it, you can book a party, host a party and earn it for free or heavily discounted, or join for $10 and get that mop system. So you have, I plant that seed, of course, for all three of those things during the party, but the mop, of course, is in there. And then I tell about some specialty products. I'm going to tell you which ones I choose and why. Okay, that's going to be part of this. So I do all of that. Then I go into my specials, spending it specials, the hosting specials. I give my personal incentive. You know, sometimes I'll do something like, you know, your hostess wants has this on their wish list. She's got the mop system on her wish list, or she has a counter cloth house. If we get 3 people who agree to host a party like this, then I will gift that to her. And you will get this, whatever it is. I'll give a prize out. So I ask for bookings right on the spot, interactive at the time. And there's the pressure. We got the hostess being like, come on, Lisa, you should totally do it. And Nancy will be like, oh my goodness, okay, I think I'm going to do it. And I'm like, can we get 2 more? So you can build the excitement and, you know, everybody's having fun on it. By the way, you can even have like mocktail or cocktail parties and have your people have fun. If they like to drink or something like that, you can have little games going on during it, whatever you like. I'm just saying there's a lot of flexibility, but it's like you're in an home party, but everybody's comfy in their jammies. So now, so that's kind of how the format of it. Why Norwex? Introduce the products, give the specials. On the very last page, I put a QR code. If you need information on QR codes, a quick Google search will help you. It is free to make your own QR code. I link them to my Linktree. So that way, every month, my QR code stays the same. They can scan it. I also have the website address on it. All right, so that's the gist. Okay, that's the gist of how the party flows. I usually do it in about, I want to say 45 minutes, but it's usually about an hour because it's more chatty. Okay, it is more chatty, which is good, right? We want them asking questions. We'll have customers who be like, oh my goodness, I love the dusty mitt. I just used it. I took it with me to the beach. And I'm like, oh, that's a great use. And so there's more of that interaction. That's what happens when you get to see each other.
Okay.
That was so good. That was genius. I don't even know if QR codes are really around in April 2020, but that was genius.
Yeah, I don't think that they were as much as they are.
Right. I mean, they obviously became a very hot commodity, but that's smart.
So smart.
Okay, so that's pretty much our like Zoom. Remember, resources are going to be dropping tomorrow for that. Can watch the rest of that video. You know, as maybe it seems like there's not a lot of information that we're giving necessarily about this, but remember, it's essentially the flow of an in-home party that we talked about last week, a Safe Haven 5 party, or whatever you want to do on Zoom. So really, you're kind of combining those two. Listen to the tips of the people and how they do it. The biggest thing is like, with an in-home party, you're going to be, there for probably 1.5 to 2.5 or 3 hours, depending on your crowd. Zoom, you're probably maxing out 45 minutes to an hour. I think if you go over an hour, you need to learn how to tighten it up a little bit. An hour is a long time on a Zoom for like a friend thing. So, so we're gonna
Angelina, that would have been on the screen share. Like she would just pull up her QR code and share the screen like she just did, and just, hey guys, pick it, like take a screenshot of it.
yeah, or even just hold up your camera to it and grab that and join right now. And then, you as the consultant can be watching that, right? And then you can say, thanks, Mary, for joining my group, so people can be knowing that people are actually doing it. So,
Yep.
oh, did you have anything else to say about that, Katie? Okay, all right. So we're gonna transition into messenger parties. Now, in our group, we have covered messenger parties pretty in depth. Like over the last 2 years, I think we've done 2 separate trainings on messenger parties, brought in some extra people to train on it as well. We're going to be reiterating pretty heavily Morgan Pietzman's style, while also hearing from Katie and Christy, who are people 2 jacket leaders who do a lot of messenger parties. We're going to hear from Katie a little bit first, but I wanted to show a Trello board. And I'm going to hold on. And I just looked at this. I pulled up Morgan's Trello board. Is that what we're looking at? Or are we looking at Christie's?
I had Christie's up, but we're going to link to both of them, so it doesn't matter.
All right, great. So I'm going to screen share Morgan's board because I want you guys to see what this looks like. So they're sharing via Trello, and from if you've never used Trello before, can everyone see? Are we good? If you've never used Trello before, it can be like a kind of an overwhelming thing when you first look at it, especially if you've never looked at it. And it isn't always the best on your phone. So if you're ready to deep dive into this, I would recommend, looking at one of these boards from your computer and not your phone, just because it's easier to see it all. Morgan has really, and I'm sure Christie's is the same way, really has laid out every single part of this party, and literally it's step-by-step order, tile by tile, and it has given you pretty much everything that you need to run this party yourself. The nice thing about messenger parties is that they're happening inside Messenger, right? So you don't have to worry about things like algorithms and getting flagged and, worrying about an image, being used too frequently, like all those things that our brains have to like kind of chew on when we're doing Facebook parties. Like all of that's gone in Messenger. You don't have to worry about it. You are working in a Messenger group that pretty much everybody has agreed to be in, and you're working with that smaller group of, 8 to 12 or 15 people at most, right? We do recommend, I personally, you guys can have your own personal thoughts about this, but I personally don't like Messenger groups, especially when there's a ton of people and when there's a ton of messages, because if you've ever been in a group message and you log into it, or you go in and it says like 74 missed messages, it's like, shoot me in the head. Like it's too much. I can't like follow with it. So these are very simple, not many posts at all. And it's meant to be like a one night event, where you are providing most of the information. There's not a whole lot of back and forth because of that. And it's going to be something that you can easily go. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these because I don't think it's not a best use of our time here. It's laid out so clearly that you will be able to look at it, but I just wanted to show you how it's laid out. So we have here, she has everything laid out in these are called tiles, in Trello. We have host coaching, workshop content. So this is going to be all of your host coaching And she starts 3 days before the event. So super, super easy if you are wanting to throw in a party last minute, right? And then the workshop content, and that's going to be literally just the post that you're going to be making. And you can see it's not very many. Okay, that's it. And it kind of gives you the layout of how you're going to be doing that as well. Okay. And then we have follow-up and then other tips. So she has her full training and all that stuff there as well. So it's super easy, guys. It is literally super easy. And I would encourage you, if this is something, a style that you really like to do, Katie, I believe, talks about this in her video, to create like a messenger group with yourself, or messenger with yourself. If you don't know this, you can message yourself stuff in Facebook Messenger. It's awesome. I use that feature all the time, especially when I'm quickly copying and pasting. But you can easily create a template within your own messenger where you can forward this information super quickly. So it becomes less of this thing where you're copying and pasting every time, but you can forward it from that group to your messenger group. It makes it super easy. I've done last year, I did a few messenger parties and I was able to easily do multiple parties at the same time as well, because it's so easy. So if you do want to do kind of like a multi-host or many parties in one night concept, you totally can do that. I would recommend just doing one at a time when you first get started. When you feel good about it, you can add more to the same night if you want to maximize your time. So that's what we have here. Christy provided a board as well, and we're going to drop all those resources for you tomorrow.
So the women who do these call them different things, but I love the simplicity of like a 30-minute express workshop. That's what Christy Hakes calls. Morgan Pietzman, I know, talks about her express parties, or 30-minute. And I know like Bethany Hildebrand is another one who does them. And she, when I was kind of picking her brain about it, she just said, I sat down and I literally thought, what do I want as a consumer? What do I want as an attendee? Well, I don't want the fluff. I don't want the extra stuff. Like, what do I want to see? And that's how she created her content. You guys, these resources are so complete. The video we're going to show next is Katie Tarr, who is also rocking these parties, and she does a little screen share for us too in her full video, and you'll see a little bit here. But she talks about, again, we thought it was important to talk about, how do we structure these parties? Yes, you know how to get on Zoom. What the heck are you going to say when you get on? Yes, you know how to message someone. What are you going to say? So that's the clip we have of Katie.
But I always make sure that my host kicks off the chat. So she's just saying, and I feed them this message to just copy and paste. I make it as simple as possible for her. And she just says, this is going to be, the group for the 30-minute messenger chat. And then she just says why she's excited. Okay. And then she gives a little testimony, perks for a great hostess, right? And she gives a little testimony. This was not supposed to happen. Nobody's supposed to be doing phone calls in there. So, and then we get started right here. So I just pull right from my template and I'm copy and pasting right into the messenger group. Once you guys have this set up, and really you don't even have to set it up because it's all set up in the template, but you can tweak it, personalize it, make it your own. But once you've done that once, and once you've done one messenger party, look at how easy it is to then, forward to your next group. You just click that button, send. So when you're actually doing the party, when you're sitting down, you can literally just copy and paste these messages, copy, and then paste it into your new group. And so that's what I do, is when I have a messenger party, I have my old messenger party right here, okay, the one I've done before. I have my new messenger group, say this was the new messenger group over here, and I am just literally for 30 minutes copy and pasting. I have videos. The only video that I make is the very first post in the messenger party when I kick things off. It just has a little video that explains like, hi, I'm Katie. This is what's going to happen for the next 30 minutes. I'm going to explain what Norwex is. I just say why I love it. But this gives a face with, you know, with me, that there is a person behind the training and behind the posts, and that it's me, and that they can reach out. I just tell them, like, you can reach out to me personally, so that we don't blow up this chat. You know, all of the host coaching and all of that too, it's all in the training. So literally all you need to do is just choose a date and a time and find someone to run one of these. And the best part is you can run your first one, just you, and then invite people to it. And then they're going to see how easy it is to host one of these parties. So they're definitely going to want to do their own so that they can earn all the host rewards. So this is what.
Okay, that was that one.
She's so smooth. She's so good. You guys, you're going to learn a ton from her and all these other videos that we have. But these really are easy button parties. There's something you can throw together pretty quickly. And the truth is, you can get all the information and learn, but it's not going to click until you start, until you do it. So I encourage you to just jump into one of these. Just jump in, give it a go, find what sounds good, and be open-minded, and know that the first time, maybe it's not going to go perfectly, but then you learn. Like, you learn. These are skills that we can learn.
Yep. And I want to, on that note, I want to say too, like, don't let people get in your head, because I did run several of these last spring, and I would say the majority of them were successful, but then I had a couple back to back that weren't as successful. And I had one in particular where the host totally got in my head and told me how much she didn't like it and how much her guests didn't like it. And that, like, I let that get to me, and I let it, like, I used that as my evidence versus the 4 other ones that I had that were all 750 plus in sales, as my evidence. So remember, when we tell you these things and we tell you to try something, trying something means trying it for like 3 months. Okay. Like, really giving it a go and coming at it from every single angle. If it's something that you really want to try. Now, if you try it for a month and you like literally hate it, we're not going to be like, we said 3 months, you know, we're not going to like be like crazy people, but like, really look at the evidence. Okay. Look at the evidence of what's happening. If you're having some successful parties and you have a couple that are flop, that's just parties. That's just how parties go. That's going to be every single style. So definitely make sure that you are preparing yourself for a really good event, and being in really high communication with your hosts, and don't let people get into your head. Don't let people mess with the good thing that you know you have going.
I also wanted to say on both Messenger and Zoom, you know, Facebook is great. It's a beast. Facebook as itself, like, you do have to master it, and you have to like know the ins and outs, and it's incredible, but it's a beast. The cool thing about both Zoom and specifically Messenger is the fact that the rules of algorithms, the rules of copy pasting, all those things don't apply. Everybody in your Messenger group, if they open up Messenger, is going to see your posts, is going to see your comments. And so that's a really great thing to keep in mind. In addition to that, one thing that I did want to share that Christy talked about separately, I don't think it's a part of her video, but she specifically talked about how, for, let's say she has a host that decides to sign up as a consultant. Okay. That group, that Messenger chat, can then become a one-stop shop to be able to like communicate to her guests, her VIPs. And so this can become like a little like, hey guys, just wanted to send you this incredible mystery bundle. You don't want to miss it. Here's this. So she can then use it to her advantage because it's all of her friends in one Messenger chat in one central location. So that's kind of a cool concept too. But I love the fact that with this, like, copy paste.
Yeah. And it
Awesome.
doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so good.
I agree, Corey, that 3-day style is different than the 30-minute express party. And I do like this style better. I feel like it's more in and out versus spreading things out over the course of 3 days. You know, I do think it's more engaging.
Yeah.
A lot of people can
2 to 3 posts a day. Like,
yeah. And a lot of people like really tune out of Messenger. Like, you can't hold their gaze for really longer than 36 hours in a messenger group. It doesn't happen. People are off moving on to the next thing. So, that it's really nice day before it opens. You have one post reminder in the morning, and then you have your 30-minute that night, and that's it. Next day you're collecting orders, right? So, and then it's really in the hands of your hostess, like doing the work and doing the follow-up. Just like
And as long as you have set the expectation for the hostess and you've set it together with your guests, they're ready for an influx of messages from 7 to 7:30. They're ready for it. It's not, I don't know how many of you are sitting here going, that feels real, like salesy, that feels real, like in your face, but not when you've set the expectation. Now, when everyone knows that's what's happening. So I love that idea. The 30-minute express is just brilliant. Yeah. So good, guys. I'm going to post all the resources tomorrow. We've got lots of stuff, of course, as usual. So watch for that in the morning. And
I'll
I
have
think
2 separate posts, right? So
that's right.
yeah.
So I'm gonna parse out Zoom and Messenger in 2 separate posts along with the replay. I'll do the replay first, and I think I don't know what we said first. Messenger first, and then the Zoom stuff later in the day.
Okay. All right, so floor's open. Any questions? Feel free to unmute and ask away.
I guess with the messenger party, because I've been doing the 3 days for like over a year, and because we'll see their like Trello boards, right? That's part of the resources.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious about like their onboarding, like the joining my team posts, and then one of the things with the 3 days to get them into your VIP group, and I got a lot of people into my VIP group that way. And if there's a way that they do that in the 30-minute as well, I guess.
Actually, Jennifer, that's actually something that I did briefly want to share. Another option that I have seen people do is filtering into your VIP group for a live demo as a part of it.
Okay.
So that's what Jennifer's referring to, is she's essentially bringing them into, here's the live portion. So she's still doing a live demo. Do you guys know of anything off the top relating to her question?
I don't off the top of my head, but for me, what makes sense would be posting about it. That would be like a next day follow-up post. So I haven't specifically looked at Megan's in a while, so I can't remember if she in her follow-up posts. So I would say for me, what makes sense is, posting about the business just like we would, in a regular post the next day. But the thing with Messenger, remember, is that you're working with a much smaller group. So there is going to be some more kind of backdoor shenanigans happening, even though you're going to be posting about it. And I would be, individually sending messages to each one of these people and then saying in the chat, hey, also be aware, guys, I'm going to be messaging each of you tomorrow just to hopefully help you if you have any questions about your product. And then in those personal messages where I'd be like, making sure they have my VIP link and letting them know, but also in the thread. So, when you're working with that 8 to 12 or 13 people versus, 40 to 60 people in a multi-host party, those kinds of tasks become much more manageable. And you're able to really give that one-on-one attention to your customers. So, we're going to be thinking like that, like in our in-home party, when we're giving them, at that checkout, right? You got that checkout right there in front of them. You're going to give more of that individual service in that messenger party.
Right. Okay.
You could also incentivize it. In-home parties, I used to give everyone my phone number, and then the first person to text me would win a prize, or the first person who would call me and the call went through. So why couldn't you do that with your VIP group? Like, guys, in the next 24 hours, those of you who join my VIP group, I'm going to do a drawing. And if you join, send me a DM me and let me know that you joined, and I'll double check. And those of you who joined, I'm going to do a drawing.
Yep.
Yeah, because I feel like filtering them to your VIP is like key for Messenger, because it's so quick. And like there's more that you do in VIP group, but without the live demo to get them into the group, one way or another. So
I think you can get creative. I think it's really smart to filter a live demo into the group. But I just think there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. Mostly, yeah, you just have to bring it up
Yeah.
and more than once, probably.
Yeah,
Okay?
more than once, posting it, individually messaging,
Mhm.
and then when you do your follow-up, thank you after their order,
Sure.
give it there as well.
Yeah.
So, and I like to time mine, so like I do a weekly giveaway in my VIP group and I let them know. If you join in my group, like today, you're gonna be there just in time for my freebie Friday. So like the way
Yeah.
that the party ends, it's like I want them immediately into my group to get them a chance to win something on Friday.
Smart.
So letting them know that it's its own unit where they can continue the education and learn more, especially since messengers are so simple. It's super simplified, very, very, very basic information. So you're really wanting to utilize your VIP to really start to expand them to the other products a little bit more. Good question. Any other questions? Go ahead.
One thing I was going to say with Katie's video that I really loved, she was very hands-on with showing host coaching, coach texts, but then she also plays a couple. The cool thing about Messenger versus like I'm host coaching on Project Broadcast, so these people have never heard my voice besides being online, is the fact that like she's able to voice text them. And so that is a very personalized message to them. Listen to those. I think her video very hands-on. So she plays the voice text that she's sending to the host to coach. And she's showing the messages that she's sending them. So definitely take some time to listen to those and take some notes if this is speaking to you, because Katie's very hands-on in her training for sure.
That must be how she learns. Like she must be
Yeah.
a visual learner like that. I love when people give lots of examples like that.
You guys know I'm a big voice message fan, and that's my total jam, because I feel like if you can hear my voice, it's not just me giving instructions, it's me saying, hey, just thinking about you, excited for your party. Here's the first few things you need to know. What questions do you have? Like it's still, no matter what party type you choose, it's all about connection.
Yeah.
So like you said, Brooke, connecting with those people to get them into your VIP group to continue, that's you're connecting with your hostess, you're connecting with your customer. You've got to find ways. You have to find ways. Otherwise this would be way too impersonal. No one would want to do one. Who wants to buy from you if you're just someone blowing up their phone for 30 minutes? Yeah,
I agree, Jennifer. Yeah, like it makes a huge difference. And I'm a big voice texter, and which is awesome, but then you don't have to edit when you like voice message. It's just like you can speak freely and it's so much better. So I think people especially if they're short little messages, people really like to hear your voice. And the nice thing about that too is that you can pre-record them. So if you're giving the same instructions, especially if you don't want to do it for every single party, you can have those basic instructions without saying their name, and it still, sounds personal, and you can just forward those to them. So, yep. Any other questions, guys? Well, okay.
I don't have a question, but I just want to, I had an in-home party on Sunday and I got 3 bookings from it. So just these resources are amazing, and just keep whatever you're doing, just keep doing it because it's working.
Thank
Hey,
you.
what was your secret? What'd you do?
I just showcased the Safe Haven 5. I threw in, partying seeds, throughout the party. And then I did like 2 Safe Haven 5 mop. And then I did like the body cloth. And then I did the fruit and veggie scrub with the spray, because the host was really into gardening.
Mhm.
So I kind of thought all her gardening friends would be there, but they weren't. And there was only 3 or 4. I think there was 4 people at the party. So there was a mom and a daughter, and then 2 other people. And so the mom and the daughter are co-hosting, and then the other 2 booked. So basically everyone there booked a party.
So awesome.
then
Love it.
I just had little gift bags, and I was at Target one day and they had $1 Halloween socks, so I threw those in there.
Cute.
And then I also put a full-size body cloth in it, and then I made a special one for the host. Just had just some stuff that I had laying around, just some random stuff, and I just said, when she gets 3 bookings, then she's gonna get this bag.
That
And
you
then-
have to put out the bold ask. 3 bags in a box. You have to say, here's what I have for booking. And can we get 2 more? Who's our first person? You have to do that. Good for you. I'm so proud.
I
Congrats.
totally forgot about it, and the party was like done, and I'd already gone in the other room to go start ordering, and no one had came in yet. So I just went back in there and I was like, hey guys, I totally forgot. I was like, I have these gift bags. So if anyone wants to book a party, like let me know, you're gonna be able to take home a gift bag. And then boom, they're like, I'll host a party, and then I'll host a party. And then when they came to ordering, the last person's like, I'm gonna host a party. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
People love free stuff, and you notice it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Halloween socks and a body cloth, and she's getting 3 bookings. So I love that. That's awesome.
And you also went back and realized you forgot, and you could have just stayed yourself in that little room, but you didn't. You went back and were like, forgot. That's amazing. Yay.
Love it. Love it. We would love to keep hearing your guys' like testimonies and thoughts. Good, bad, mediocre. We want to hear it all, because we're, when you guys apply the things that we're actually teaching you, the evaluation process is really an important part of it. And, we'd love for you to come back on these calls. And if you want to talk through those kinds of things, like, okay, here's what I did and here's how it went, we want to help you guys, in the implementation of this as well. So, really excited to see that you guys are already starting to do that. So that was our hope and our goal, that we'd give you the resources that you needed to feel confident to go out and fly and do this on your own. So it's so awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. Okay. Well, next week, same time, same place. It'll be November 1st, 8 p.m. We'll kind of give you a kind of foundation of a kind of recap of things that we've covered, and a vision of what's to come. That's the goal for next week. So finish up the month strong, guys. If you have goals and you haven't hit them, really want to challenge you. Can you implement one of these party styles this week? Truly, can you? I bet you can, if you really want it bad enough. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there and go and make some direct asks, or start with yourself. I mean, if you wanted to, you could do one of these messenger parties on Thursday night. You have plenty of time. So yeah, can't wait to hear what you guys think of these. So, all right. And Katie,
really fast.
yeah.
With the whole, like, you can do one yourself. Don't hesitate to be like in your VIP group. Hey guys,
Yes.
I've learned about this. I'm super jazzed about it. I would love some guinea pigs to follow along with me in this messenger party or express party, whatever you want to say, to let me know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Same thing was, but yeah.
Yep.
Yay! Love it all.
Yeah.
Yay! Love the
So
comments.
good. So good.
I love it. And no,
Yay, that's so awesome.
you guys, there's so many ideas out there. I actually just helped a team member do a laundry challenge in her VIP. Like, we did a big team wide one and she missed it and she really wanted to. I was like, why can't you run it in your VIP? Okay, so she had 3. So she told me this. She's going to watch this recording. Wait, is she on? I won't say her name. But she was like, okay, I know I can't get in my head about this, but 3 people left my group. And I was like, they're not your people. They're not your people. You guys, I don't know what she ended up with in sales. She's still got sales going. She has 3 bookings. Like, 3 people leaving your group is worth 3 bookings.
Yeah.
You can get creative. I love it.
Every
A lot
challenge I
of-
run, people leave.
Yeah. But here's the thing,
Every
you guys
time.
can look at those numbers. Remember, numbers are data. So, all of the people who like are gurus in social media say you want the size of the crowd doesn't matter. It's the quality and the connection. So it's actually better to have less people who are engaged than it is to have higher numbers. So don't get like if you have my Instagram following goes up and down every single day. Like I lose 3 and then I gain 5 and then I lose 7 and then I gain 15, you know, every single day. So you can't really like get caught up in those up and downs. It's just going to happen. It's all about the quality of engagement and building an audience that actually wants to be there and connect with you. I would love for people who are holding up space in my VIP group to leave, because if the people that aren't engaging are just dragging the numbers down. So I want engagement. That's what I want. So like, make sure that you don't get too tied up to those numbers. Same thing with these messenger parties, because you're going to see people leave the group, because sometimes your host isn't going to like follow exact directions, or maybe someone says yes and they're not paying attention and they realize they don't want to be there. You cannot get your brain like focused on those people leaving.
I do not sell to the masses. If I ever do stuff on social media, it's for fun and to educate. But what you are better off serving your people and not worrying about the people who don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's good, you guys. Okay. Next week.
Can't wait.
Done.
Then, all right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.